Welcome on back, everybody, to episode 107 of Streaming with the Mouse, where today we're breaking down episode 4 of Marvel Studios' Hawkeye. Sit back, relax, it's Streaming with the Mouse. Welcome on back, everybody, to Streaming with the Mouse. My name's Cam Ramo, and joining me as always is my co-host, my co-pilot, Cliff. Cliff, say hello to nice people.
Did you drop an S from your name?
What do you mean?
I thought you said Cam Ramo.
Well, I meant to say Ramos. We'll have to listen back and listen to this and see what I said.
Well, no, we're already off to a good early Saturday morning start, but this episode, this show keeps getting better and better, and I mean, now you have all the cast and everyone in between hyping up the last 2 episodes. So who knows how this is going to end? Let's hope they don't get they hype us up too much where we no longer that maybe wasn't what we were expecting. But so far, everything is setting up for a really incredible conclusion to this show.
Yeah, we got 2 more episodes left of this, and episode 4 was absolutely great. I agree with you. The series keeps getting better and better. This episode is called Partners, am I right? We're going to break it down today. Before we do that, though, Cliff, I think he has some news, so we'll talk about some news first.
Yes, well, it's Saturday, December 11th when we're recording this, so I feel like it's easy to, as I opened Twitter for this, to say happy birthday to Kate Bishop herself, Haley Steinfeld. Incredible addition to the MCU. I think I've seen no complaints at all with her being. I saw one person try to pull the Mary Sue comment.
Oh, they can go F
they
themselves.
absolutely got destroyed in the comics section. It was really funny because everyone's like, it's all there why she's good. But we do have a date for Marvel's Eternals coming to Disney Plus on January 12th. Will you rewatch it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
it was good.
Absolutely. I think it'll be interesting to rewatch it because I think my theory leaving the theater was that it had good rewatchability.
Yeah, I think so.
But we will see. We will see on January 12th. Another big thing, I didn't even realize this was like an up in the air question. Olivia Rodrigo is confirmed returning for the 3rd season of High School Musical, the musical series. It is going to be Frozen themed.
Yeah, my wife and I were also confused by that announcement because we also didn't realize that was ever a question that she wasn't going to be part of High School Musical, the musical season 3.
Was not able to get tickets.
Did you try?
Boston showing. I did try.
Well,
I don't know why. I don't know how you win Entertainer of the Year by Times and then book a Boston showing for a venue that's only 2,500 people.
What venue is she at? I just assumed she was at the Garden.
No, I know you would have thought so. No, she's at it's like the Running Dog or something.
Really?
Somewhere. Yeah, it's a really small venue. I was looking, and a lot of places have 2 showings, and Boston's just one. I'm like, Boston is one of the bigger concert towns.
At least bring her to Providence and put her at the Dunk or something.
Right, exactly. I know.
Wow, that's weird.
And the weirdest thing is it's a Tuesday. That's even weirder. But all the resale tickets are anywhere from 500 to 1,200 because Ticketmaster really cares about shows.
Yeah, people are complaining the same reason for MLS Cup today as well. In Portland, the tickets resale is unreal right now. But any other news?
I digress. Last but not least, Rick Riordan puts out blogs. So the funniest thing about this is whenever you see someone trying to get famous on YouTube off of trying to be breaking news, and they ever have something that's Percy Jackson before Rick Riordan, it's always 100% false because it's in the rule that only Rick can let out information. So a couple months ago, they started casting for Percy, for the main character, Percy Jackson. And they just set out and they open auditions. So anyone can apply. Well, if you can audition, if you fit the age range, for both Annabeth and Grover. So we're very close. It sounds like that kind of makes me think they have a Percy in mind.
Grover's the goat one, right?
Grover's the goat one, yeah. My guess is they probably have their short list of Percy, and now they need to see how the other people act with one another. Because if you ever look back, we're probably going to see it on January 1st with the Harry Potter thing. They'll probably talk about how Rupert Daniel and Emma all had like incredible screen chemistry together. They just worked so well together. That's probably my guess for what they're going to be trying to do for that.
Yeah. Oh, I got one more thing for news. This was probably a couple weeks ago. We probably should have mentioned it. Rangers of the New Republic scrapped, so that's bye-bye.
And what's it called? And Rogue. No, what was the
Acolyte?
What's the Patty? Oh yeah, we got an actress. We got a casting call for Acolyte.
Yeah.
If anyone remembers, if I can know how to spell it, there we go. If anyone remembers the Hunger Games, the person that plays Rue, Amanda Stenberg, has been cast as the main character for the Acolyte. And we knew this going into it. It was going to be about the waning days of the High Republic, about a young female Jedi finding the dark side. That's all we know about it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I haven't seen her in anything since, but everyone seems really happy with the casting. They say she's a great actress, so.
Yeah, and I'm excited for it. Especially getting some New Republic content is always awesome. Like, I know we obviously have the books in the comics, but now we have the Acolyte coming back. We also have Star Wars Eclipse, which looks incredible. Just absolutely gorgeous footage that they released at the Gaming Awards the other day. It wasn't gameplay footage, it was just the trailer, but either way, it was still awesome. So, very excited for all the High Republic content we're going to be getting in the next couple of years.
And because people are ridiculous, we have confirmation that Star Wars Rogue Squadron by Patty Jenkins is not canceled.
Yes.
Even though certain people, a certain fandom menace online loves to try to stir up crap online. It is not that way. I'm really excited for that movie, but that is not Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So, well, one day it will be, but not originally.
Should we get into it, Cliff? We'll talk about episode 4 Hawkeye.
We got an excellent episode to talk about.
Awesome.
And I cannot wait.
Yes, absolutely. So let's get to it. So episode 4 is titled Partners, Am I Right? So we start off with where we left off in episode 3. So we got Jack holding up the sword, the Ronin sword up to Clint's neck, basically forces him to drop the attack. But luckily Kate and Eleanor arrive, and the four have the most awkward conversation of all time. We've seen bits and pieces of this scene before. What's funny is in the clips that we've seen of the scene before, Jack was never in the picture. From what I remember, it's always just been Eleanor and Hawkeye and Kate. So in this, it was them having a sit down where they were just trying to stand. So you're helping him, meaning Kate, you're helping Hawkeye with an Avengers level threat. And Jack is just like, yeah, this is all normal. And Eleanor is obviously kind of paranoid, be like, what the heck is my daughter getting into? Eleanor kind of goes with like, hey, like, so somebody tried hacking into my account for Bishop security. Like, want to tell me about that? So Kate's trying to make her way through. They kind of let Barton out. Eleanor kind of stops him before he reaches the elevator and is basically like, I don't want my daughter to die. Makes sense after she lost her first husband, stuff like that. Kate still tries to tell her mom that Jack is evil, kind of thing, and it's kind of silenced. But any other thoughts on this kind of thing? It definitely wasn't what I thought last week. Last week I was convinced it was going to be this awesome swordsman versus Clint fight. We didn't get that, which is absolutely fine because it was a pretty funny scene.
I had a feeling it wasn't going to be that.
Yeah, you said that last week. I just thought it was going to be. And
I am at the point now where, and we'll talk about it more, where I think Jack is a red herring.
I agree.
We're going to talk about that. But Eleanor, first off, you actually bring up a good point. The trailer made it seem like she was like a therapist, like being like, tell me what's wrong. Like, why are you guys working together? What is this? And that's the interesting thing. I really like that. How I was like, oh, she was a therapist, and this is like, no, she's this multimillionaire, evil security woman.
Yes.
My old roommate was telling me how, I guess in the comics, she becomes a vampire.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
I guess. But Eleanor is giving some not so subtle hints that she is the villain.
Yeah, she even has that phone
was
call.
Such a low blow to mention Natasha. Get her name out of your mouth.
Yeah, we even have that she places like a phone call where she wants to talk to somebody too. Again, we're kind of assuming that that's Kingpin. I'm trying really hard, Cliff, not to get my hopes up because
I don't think it was Kingpin.
You don't think so?
No, I think it was Elaine.
Oh,
because at the end, a certain someone shows up that has the power to initiate a certain target.
Interesting. That's a good point. Okay.
I do think there were hints. I do think there were hints to Kingpin today, though, in this episode.
Here's the thing, though. I'm gonna set myself for heart failure or heartbreak, I should say.
We know
because as many hints as there are that Kingpin's in this, if it doesn't happen in episode 5, it's not happening. It's just not.
I disagree.
It's not happening. I'm convinced it's not happening. If there's a lot of hype around episode 5, the Twitter first is like, listen, episode 5 is a get off. Which first of all, I want PSA to everybody out here. Today's Saturday the 11th. Everyone should be off of Twitter by Tuesday the 14th for the rest of the week. And the reason for that is you do not want to get spoiled for episode 5 of Hawkeye. Also, England for some reason is getting Spider-Man No Way Home coming out on the 15th. Everyone, PSA, get off Twitter. No spoiler zone here. I'll be off Twitter. I will not be on Twitter.
And then I can spoil it in line for Cam when I
keep everything safe here. But anyway, I'm setting up myself for heartbreak that Kingpin is not going to be in this, because this whole time we were like, oh my god, there's somebody behind, like above Agatha in WandaVision, and it just wasn't, which was fine. I liked Agatha's character. I thought she was a good big bad, but I'm trying my best to keep my hope down.
Okay, let's go back to WandaVision for a second. Let's go back to WandaVision for a second. Rewatching WandaVision, the Mephisto stuff was so stupid.
Yes, 100%. I fell for the trap.
We found a piece of hay in a haystack and called it a needle.
Yes.
And that is what people did. I mean, I thought the Mephisto stuff was clever, and then people right off the bat started doing it with Loki too. And I'm like, no, that's just Loki being himself. There's way too much setup. This is not. They're actively talking about a unknown him.
Yeah.
And are we talking about Kazi?
No.
It was hilarious. That was a hilarious scene.
Yeah.
We know it's not. If it was Eleanor, it would have been a her. We know that Uncle is a male in charge of the actual entire crime syndicate.
And that's giving me hope too, is the him, the he pronouns, and then also the hand that touches young Maya's face.
With cufflinks that look exactly like what were worn in the Netflix
that's giving me hope. But
and with the confirmation that Charlie Cox is returning as Daredevil in the Maya Lopez show in Echo.
Well, that's not true. That's not confirmed.
Well,
he's coming back to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
He's coming back to the MCU.
But we don't know how. I think, I've tweeted this a bunch and put on Instagram. There's a high chance that I'll have a heart attack by Thursday night, because I'll get to see Kingpin on Wednesday morning, and then I'll see Charlie Cox's Matt Murdock on Thursday when we go see No Way Home.
But that's the other thing why I could picture them holding off on Kingpin until next week. Actually, I mean, it works either way, because if Kingpin is there, then Matt Murdock just being in like a second of No Way Home is still excellent, because then it's like, oh, maybe he's kind of paying attention to everything else.
Yeah. But we'll keep moving on here. We'll get to, like I said, this is the same way as always, just the top points here. I want to talk about this Avengers campus Rolex. Basically, there's a scene where Clint is talking to his wife, and like they're talking about like, how did these things get here? I thought all this stuff was destroyed. And Clint basically learns that a Rolex watch that was at the Avengers campus that was supposed to be destroyed was in the auction, which is really funny because it was one of the things that was in the auction from episode 1. I was like, that was really random, because they had like Ronan's suit and Ronan's sword, and then they had a Rolex. That was pretty bizarre. No, it's because that was also from Avengers Campus. People believe, and I really like this theory, that Rolex belonged to Clint's wife.
I also like that theory.
I do too. And essentially what it sets up is that Clint's wife, Laura, is a character in the comics called Mockingbird. And Mockingbird she's Avenger. She's never been Laura, but in the comics, Mockingbird has always been a companion to Clint, whether it's been as boyfriend, girlfriend, married, whatever it may be. It was a different character name, but it makes a lot of sense, right? So the theory is that Laura has been retired because she's raising the family while Clint still works for S.H.I.E.L.D. and whatnot. but that Laura was an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's how she met Clint. The two worked together. They were partners. They obviously fell in love, got married, had kids, but that the Rolex belongs to her potentially, and that she was a member of the Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., which makes a lot of sense because she speaks German, I think, in either this episode or the last episode, meaning that she's multilingual. She knows about the catch and release move that Clint was going to pull in episode 2, which I thought was funny. It's like, oh, she knows like all his own moves kind of thing. No, that's probably because that's a typical S.H.I.E.L.D. training thing. So it makes a lot of sense that Laura would be a previous agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and a lot of people think that she'll be Mockingbird. A couple people I saw were upset that she might be Mockingbird because it basically proves that Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that was previously on ABC is officially non-canon anymore because there was a Mockingbird in that as well. But I don't care. I don't care about those ABC shows at all, so this is fine. Why are you waiting?
I don't want... this is the thing. I saw someone compare Mockingbird kind of like... She's like an agent something. I forget what number she is. Does it say it on the wiki? No, it doesn't. She's similar to like Shannon or Sharon, where she was agent something.
Yeah.
Honestly, they could easily turn it where the Mockingbird is either a title or it is like the Black Widow program. It's the Americanized version of the Black Widow program. So it doesn't completely take that away.
So she could be a Mockingbird, but not.
She could have been the original Mockingbird.
Sure, that makes sense, and just a moniker now.
But I want to throw in my crazy far-fetched theory into the ring because I can gloat if I'm correct, or everyone will forget it because it's so ridiculous. What if the watch belongs to Coulson?
Oh, that would make me depressed.
Because what if Coulson is still alive? Because some of the seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is canon. We have that confirmed.
And he is alive in that.
He is alive in that. And Clint... So if you actually look back at a lot of art or a lot of stills of Coulson, he wears a very fancy watch. And on top of that, one of the lines that kind of strikes me right away is it's like, oh, someone I used to work with. And if you remember Thor... Clint was directly supervised by Coulson at the Thor project, at the Hammer. So that could also be an interesting way to bring Coulson back into the MCU for Secret Invasion.
That's true. That'd be kind of cool.
So that was my theory. It's not as crazy as it could be. I think Laura makes the most sense, but if they do want to throw that like, let's get crazy, I think Coulson's the safest choice because then it also lets him come back for an upcoming very important S.H.I.E.L.D. storyline.
True. Next major point we got here is we get probably one of the most heartwarming moments in the MCU history. Agent 19, there we go. We get one of probably the most heartwarming, in my opinion, moments in the MCU history where Kate is trying to save Christmas for Clint, and it's very cute. She buys a bunch of movies. She buys a tree. They decorate her aunt's apartment. They watch Christmas movie because it's Christmas movie marathon night. It's very, very cute. It goes to hell, though, and the reason it goes to hell is it gets very serious. Clint talks about losing Natasha because Kate gets it out of him, and Kate also gets it out of him that you're Ronin, and that was a big reveal. So Kate officially knows she's Ronin. It wasn't what I predicted last week where it was a big deal, is Kate loves and appreciates Clint so much as a icon and a hero that she can look past that and be like, listen, that was before, you're different now, you're still a role model. So that was nice because I didn't want her to be mad at Clint for being Ronin, especially where it's like, Ronin, was he a bad guy killing people? Yeah, but he was killing bad guys, so who cares kind of thing, you know what I mean? But just a very heartwarming scene that turns sad. So I don't know if you had any thoughts on that. The Christmas sweaters were adorable, by the way.
Yeah, Funko, what the hell? Why would you not release... They released the 2 Christmas sweater characters. Why is it not a 2-pack? That's a great...
Did you buy both?
No.
Why didn't you buy both?
I might buy both. I haven't decided yet. I got one. They're both pre-ordered.
I want the Kate one in her Archer costume because I want...
You want Pizza Dog?
I want Lucky.
You want Pizza Dog, yeah.
Yes.
Here's the thing with Clint. I don't think that it's that he doesn't want to talk about it. It's that he doesn't want to be vulnerable and open up to someone else. I think he wants to. I think he really wants to open up, but he knows he can't. He's like, I can't do it. Like, it's too much. I am very happy that they didn't make the rift be that he was Ronin.
Yeah. Because we do get a rift, but we'll talk about that later.
We do get a rift. Partners, am I right? We do get a rift later, but I'm glad it wasn't because it was kind of her being like, everything happens.
Yeah.
But I think the most beautiful thing out of it was the shot the shot I didn't take. And
Yes.
he didn't want to say it. And he's like, but then he's like, it's not a good story, but it is a good story. It's an excellent story. It's the
Amazing
person
story.
that ends up leading the Avengers when everyone else has given up. It's like it's all that where like he saved her, but then in turn she saved him, which is a very nice thing. Which it did get serious really fast, and it was this really fun like scene leading up until we got serious.
Yeah, and that was what's funny is so Kate's asking Clint all these questions, like you alluded to, Cliff, and one of them was, "What was your best shot?" And Clint says it was the one I didn't take, kind of thing. Reference to him not killing Natasha, which was his objective at one point because he sensed something good in her that she wanted to change. She didn't want to be this like badass assassin anymore. So that was his best shot, was the one he didn't take. And this goes into parallels that we see later in this episode, which is a main point that I have. But before we can even talk about those parallels, because there's something important here, is we get the return of Velena. We obviously saw her in Black Widow. It's been teased she was going to be in this series. She's here. It was really cool. So Kate went into an apartment to go try to get the Rolex watch. Turns out she's in Maya's apartment. Kate's like, I'm fighting Maya right now because Maya returns. And Clint's like, no, I'm fighting Maya. Nope, he's not. He was fighting Yelena. Yelena is in this, like, it looks like Spider-Man's, like, night monkey suit or whatever he was called in Far From Home.
It looks like her original costume in the comics.
Yeah, but that's what it reminded me of too, was Spider-Man. But she had these night goggles on, intense fight kind of thing. On the rooftop, all four of them end up there at one point, but Yelena's back. She gets her mask ripped off, and it's Yelena, which was great because obviously Yelena stole the show in Black Widow, so it's awesome to have her again in the MCU, especially with what's going to happen too. But your thoughts on Yelena returning? And I do want to talk about the shot not taken with Kate in my next point, so just don't bring that up, Cliff.
Okay. I was happy she was back. I can't believe Florence Pugh got copyright on social media by Disney, and then not even 12 hours later, Disney posts a picture of Alina on their social medias. And this was a thing, people were really mad on Twitter about spoilers for it, and I'm like, first off, it's not really a spoiler. We all knew she was coming. It wasn't speculated that Florence Pugh was returning for the show. It was confirmed. It was confirmed both in the MCU at the end credit scene for Black Widow, and all social media outlets were talking about her returning. So
yeah, it'll be a bigger spoiler when people are posting like screenshots of Kingpin if he shows up next week. Like that would be a big spoiler.
Exactly. And I'm kind of in the same situation. Like, I don't want to be the person that's like, well, just don't go on social media. Don't do that.
I'm going to be that person.
I know you're going to be that person.
Stay off on Tuesday.
But I kind of am. Well, it's different if like people are going to spoil it.
Yeah.
But like people are like, well, there should be like a buffer time for watching it. And with Game of Thrones, I understood that. Not everyone can stay up.
Nope.
For that time, or some people might be working at that. But if a show comes out in the middle of the night, you can either don't be attached to your phone and check it at like 6 a.m. while you're getting ready for work. I am fine with that. I am personally fine seeing spoilers at this point. I'm just like, whatever, I'm going to enjoy it one way or the other. I am fine risking it, or set up your accounts to have, you can block words.
I know we got to talk about this episode. I'm going to fight you on that real quick. I think there could be a little bit of a buffer because it comes out at 3 a.m. People got to get up, go to work the next day for that. The Game of Thrones one, I strong disagree. I think if it comes out live TV at like 9 o'clock at night,
but not everyone owns HBO. Not everyone.
Then they're not gonna. How are they gonna watch the episode?
Not everyone gets. Not in.
How are they gonna watch the episode? So that's on them. If they have HBO, they should be watching it. It's the same thing as watching like a Pats game kind of thing. Like, people tweet about the live. In my opinion, Game of Thrones was a TV show that was basically a live event every Sunday night. So it's literally the same thing as watching a Patriots game. This is a little bit different, where it's 3 a.m. Our time. Obviously, West Coast is midnight kind of thing. I think it's very different, in my opinion.
I know that's the thing. West Coast gets it at midnight. We get it at 3 a.m. Well, like with Game of Thrones, though, also like people would live tweet Like they would be tweeting during it. I would watch it live, but if you don't have live cable, they didn't put Game of Thrones on until 20 minutes later. It took time until the last season. So there's a lot of things with that. But
whatever. We'll go on to my favorite part of this episode is the parallels between. Sorry, did you have anything else about Yelena returning? I'm sorry.
No.
The parallels between Kate and Clint. So we get a lot of moments in this episode where we get parallels to past moments in Clint's life. So at one point, Kate has Yelena dead on spot, bow and arrow pointing right at Yelena. Yelena like shakes her head no kind of thing, and Kate drops the bow. Another example, we got it before, the shot she didn't take, which would be awesome because everybody is assuming Kate will be the new Hawkeye, just like she is in the comics. Yelena will be the new Black Widow, just like she's in the comics. They're going to be best friends, basically. So it's, again, that's Kate's best shot, the one she didn't take because she is going to be working with her best friend now, Yelena. We also get the heartbreaking parallels to Avengers Endgame. At one point, Kate falls off the building. She's attached to a wire, and Clint is leaning over the building. And in this part, Kate says, "Pull me up." And Clint, realizing this is dangerous, there's a Black Widow here, not realizing who it is kind of thing, cuts the cord. Again, a parallel to the heartbreaking scene in Avengers Endgame where Clint is holding on to Natasha for dear life and Natasha saying, "Let me go," as opposed to "bring me up." And she has to force her way out instead of Clint letting go kind of thing. So really big parallels here where Clint did it because he wanted to save Natasha. He wanted to die instead of her to get the Soul Stone. In this case, Clint's also trying to save Kate by cutting her off, which is the difference. So the parallels are really, really cool in this episode. It was very fun the way they did that, and it's like, oh, I get it kind of moment.
Did you hear the music?
Yes, I did hear the music.
Pretty evil.
Yes.
Let's see what's the best way to say this. Well, dropping the bow, I really loved. How quick did you pick up that? How quick did you?
Right away. Yeah, right away. Some people did. They set it up right away with the shot you didn't take kind of thing.
Yeah, some people didn't even realize it. I'm like that was like that punches you in the face.
Yeah, it really did. Especially because they said that question before.
First of all, I just want to say, poor Maya.
Yeah, Maya gets destroyed in this fight.
She gets an arrow to the shoulder, but she looks so sad. She looks like so depressed after she gets shot. I just wanted to definitely add that in. How do I want to say this? How dare you, Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff? How you had so much time? Why did you tell absolutely no one that you destroyed the Black Widow program? The Black Widow program doesn't exist anymore. The guy that controls them is actually dead. Yeah. Why did you tell no one?
To be fair,
why did you not tell Clint, the person that literally knows about the program and saved you from it?
To be fair, she didn't know where he was.
There was time between like getting him as Ronin and going to Vormir.
They had some bigger issues, I think, to deal with, Cliff.
She could have left it written down.
It's fair. Okay, sure.
She could have told someone. I'm just saying. There.
I guess the flight might have been long, so whatever.
She dropped the ball. And then dropped off of the Vormir cliff.
Jesus, Clifton. Oh my god, you're terrible. But no, the parallels were really cool. Absolutely loved it, especially if Yelena and Kate work together. What was beautiful was seeing Haley and Florence like just tag each other on, I don't know if it was Twitter, but definitely like Instagram kind of thing. They're both excited to definitely work with each other. They seem like to be really good work friends at least. So that's going to be exciting to see their partnership hopefully flourish throughout the next couple of years in whatever Marvel projects they end up being in together, hopefully. So that'll be cool.
Or other projects as well.
Yeah. Final big point is the partnership dissolves, basically. Clint, as an effort to try to save Kate, says, nope. Oh, this is after he like cuts her off and she drops into the Christmas lights, which is a pretty funny scene. But Kate gets back to the rooftop and Clint says, nope, you're done. We're done here. There's a Black Widow involved with this now. Like, I can't have you do this. This is now way more serious than it was originally. Their partnership is dissolved at this point. Obviously, we know Kate is very tenacious. She's
not gonna listen.
She's stubborn, but I mean that in like the nicest way possible. I don't mean that as like a rift on her. Like, she's determined. Their partnership is going to continue, but she's mad at Clint at this point for saying this, like, nope, you're out, tap out, you're done here. But Clint's doing it for a good reason, because he's like, nope, this is serious now. We have a Black Widow on our hands. This is legit. Somebody hired her who did this kind of thing. So it would be interesting if it is. I think Contessa works for Kingpin, is what I think.
No, I think it's a government project. It's definitely under Ross, unless Ross is complicit to Kingpin.
So do you think Kate's mom, Eleanor, so you think she called Contessa to get Black Widow?
I think that with Ross,
I
think that with what's the name of the team?
Oh my God, Thunderbolts.
The Thunderbolts. With the Thunderbolts, I think it's very much like, this is an off-book thing. Get rid of high-risk targets at your own discretion. I think it's like Ross's way of getting superheroes and skirting around the Sokovia Accords while actually having full control over them. It's like his like evil way of being like, I have my own band that is 100% loyal to me and will do more dirty work, unlike the other ones.
Well, I think it'd be interesting if...
But also, Eleanor is a government-contracted security company. She absolutely has some ties with the United States military.
Yeah. I think it'd be cool if, like, the end credit scene in Black Widow where Yelena's at Natasha's grave and Contessa comes up to her. I think it'd be cool if, like, that happened, like, a couple hours after Eleanor put the call in. If it was Contessa that she called, kind of thing, and be like, hey, you got a target now, we got some work for you, like, you're going after Clint, kind of thing. Because she really shows up out of nowhere, and we don't know what Yelena's issue is. So I don't think... I kind of agree with you that, now that I think about it, that she was brought on by Eleanor, kind of thing. I don't think it was like, Kingpin definitely didn't send out Yelena. There's just no way. She's not connected to the Tracksuit Mafia at all. I think we got two different things here. We got Eleanor, and then we also got the Tracksuit Mafia and Kingpin. So I think we're going to have two villains at the end of this, where we have Kingpin and then Eleanor are the two big bad guys, and we're going to have Hawkeye, and the new Black Widow, and maybe in Maya as Echo. I think the four of them will be fighting Eleanor and Kingpin, which will be awesome. That's my opinion.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting way to go. All I have seen... the actor that played Kazi referred to both episode 5 and 6 as the season finale.
Yeah, so it's probably like a part 1, part 2.
It's like a part 1, part 2. So take the next 2 episodes, which may like just release both of them. Come on, you can do it. No, I like how it's that the last episode's like literally like 3 days before Christmas. I kind of do like that, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... I like how they bit off the perfect amount. They didn't add in Ronan being an issue to Kate. They didn't add in all these things. There is a perfect amount of questions with enough time to answer them.
Yeah,
that's been a big issue with Marvel with these shows. They're trying to figure out the right formula, and it looks like this is set up to... They may have figured out the formula, the perfect amount of like, okay, how many subplots, how many characters and revolving parts to make a show that is great from start to finish, that asks everything and answers everything within the one season, especially if they're one-offs.
Yeah, and I think that whole thing with like episode 5 and 6 being the finale, I think that's something that Marvel's done really well, is the penultimate and final episode has been the same way like that for every single show. We had it in WandaVision where it literally ends off with the kids being trapped by Agatha, and then starts right back up there for the big fight scene the next episode in the finale. Same thing with Loki. They go through through the portal, and then they end up going to meet eventually Kang.
I think this is the best. This is going to be the best show to watch in one sitting.
I agree, especially because it takes place over like 3 days, basically.
It takes place over 3 days. It's actually going to be a really fun thing to rewatch every Christmas.
Yes, I 100% wholeheartedly agree.
This is my Die Hard.
There we go. I mean, this is definitely way more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard is. But
is it better than Iron Man 3?
Yes, I agree with that as well. Cliff, any other final thoughts for this episode? It was great. I think I might have liked 3 a little bit better, but it doesn't matter. I love the show as a whole. This is really, really fun stuff.
I liked 3 more, but I liked what was set up in 4 more.
And I like the character building in 4. I love like Kate and I love that whole Christmas scene with Kate
I think
and Clint.
the best way, that honestly might be one of the best Marvel scenes. But let's just say, like, it's episode 3 and 4 were great in different ways. Episode 3, you sat down, watched it, and you were like, at the end, you're like, wait, that's it? Where's what's next? What am I waiting for? And episode 4 was like, oh wow, a lot of stuff has been said so far. How much is left? And it's like 40 minutes left, 30 minutes left. I'm like, wow, they've got so much in this short amount of time. So they were both great for different reasons.
Yeah, and episode 4 was nice because it felt like a chapter of the book ending, and then you can like 3 was like a cliffhanger, but you got this is the end of this chapter. Now
we are at our low point.
Yeah, and now it's gonna just go crazy. And if we get Kingpin this episode, all right, let's have 2 thoughts here. Do we get Kingpin episode 5 before we wrap up? Let me ask you this: do we get an end credit scene in episode 5?
I'm gonna say yes. He's gonna be in it. I don't know if it will be an end credit scene, but it will be the final scene.
Okay. Do you think we'll get an end credit scene in this episode?
No.
I
don't think so, because we have to look at it like episode 5 and 6 are one episode. So technically the credits of episode 5 don't matter. Does that make sense?
I think there was an end credit scene though in WandaVision for episode 5 where it was the White Vision. Wasn't that episode 5? That's
true. Oh, so maybe will be. Maybe it will be then the scene that sets up Kingpin.
So I think Kingpin is in it, and I do think he's an end credit scene, and then we get him a bunch in episode 6.
So
that's
I ruined your life last episode with the, what if they just bring him in to kill him right off the bat?
That would really just hurt me.
Would it hurt more if it's Eleanor if it's an end credit scene that's Eleanor talking to him, talking to someone in this big chair, but he turns around, you don't see his face, and you just see the big white, like the big guy with a white blazer without his head?
No, that is in episode 5 or the whole season?
In episode 5.
No, because that'll be pumped for episode 6.
If it's that with him with his cat.
No, I wouldn't be that mad about that. If that was his only appearance on the show, then I'd be like, come on, what are we doing here, kind of thing. But
I can picture him not fighting.
I need him to use those big meaty fists to just rain down on somebody. Would be awesome. I love Kingpin. I could
picture it being much more like Kang, except not killing him.
I hope not. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna get him. I think it'll be an end credit scene though, and I'm very excited for it.
I am too.
Cliff,
a few days to go.
Cliff, if people want to talk to you about Hawkeye, and also we're gonna go see No Way. What do we have? 7:15 tickets, Cliff?
I believe so.
The 7:15 tickets. We're gonna go see a No Way Home. Nice little podcast Christmas little date night kind of thing with Colin thrown in there.
Exactly.
But Cliff, where can people find you if they want to talk to you? Yes. Where can people find you on Twitter if they want to talk to you about this episode and any other Disney Plus shows?
You can find me at CP Robinson81.
You can find me on Twitter at CamRayMost95. You can find the podcast at Twitter at Stream the Mouse. We're on Facebook and Instagram at Streaming with the Mouse. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and our YouTube channel. Just search for Streaming with the Mouse. Please make sure to like, rate, reviews, 5 stars, subscribe, all those fun stuff to those different platforms and whatnot. Get more ears and eyes on our channels. That'll be really appreciative. We are going to be doing an unboxing, hopefully in January. I'm going to be getting the Funko Disney Plus Marvel Collector Core box, so we'll be doing that. It'll be a fun video. Probably, I think it comes out in January, so that'll be cool. But yeah, I think that's it. Very excited for Hawkeye episode 5. Very excited for Spider-Man No Way Home. We'll probably be back with a No Way Home, Hawkeye recap late next week, I would guess. Definitely not Thursday because we're gonna go be seeing No Way Home. But yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. We hope you have a magical day.
Bye, guys.